It's committed to ensuring that injustices prevalent in Western Sahara are brought to an end and the conflict there is resolved.
One of the driest places on Earth has flooded for the first time in half a century.
The Sahara Desert is often imagined as an endless sea of scorching sand, devoid of life and history. But what if beneath that arid surface lies a hidden world? Ancient forests, vast lakes, and civilizations long forgotten. Recent scientific discoveries have peeled back the layers of time, revealing secrets that shatter everything we thought we knew about this iconic landscape.
I think we're looking again at a lost technology, and it was this ancient apocalypse 12,800 years ago that wiped that from the human memory banks.
Could the Sahara once have been green and thriving, a sweeping savanna filled with rivers and wildlife? What amazing truths have been buried under millions of tons of sand, waiting to be uncovered? As we journey into the heart of this desert, prepare to be stunned by a story of dramatic transformation, mystery, and the resilience of life. The Sahara's hidden landscape. The Sahara Desert often conjures images of endless golden dunes shimmering beneath a scorching sun, a vast expanse of barren sand stretching to the horizon. Yet, beneath this popular perception lies a far more complex and varied terrain. Contrary to common belief, only around 20% of the Sahara is actually covered with sand. Most of its surface is a rocky plateau, punctuated by rugged mountains, gravel plains, and hard-packed deserts that defy the simplistic, dune-dominated image. Stretching over 8.5 million square kilometers, the Sahara crosses 10 countries and is framed by the Atlantic Ocean, the Red Sea, and the Mediterranean. Despite its harshness, about 2 million people inhabit this domain, including Berber and Tuareg communities who have adapted to its endless challenges. Life here endures against shifting temperatures that range from nearly 58 degrees Celsius during the burning days to near freezing on moonlit nights, creating one of Earth's most extreme environments. Ecologically, the desert hosts over 4,000 species, from tiny gerbils and nocturnal dune cats to hardy acacia trees and date palms, surprisingly thriving amid this seeming desolation. The geological forces at work give rise to peculiar phenomena like singing dunes, which produce haunting melodies when the wind stirs the sand. Scattered across this vast region are transparent, glass-like stones believed to be remnants of ancient meteorite impacts millions of years ago, hinting at the desert's violent past. Several landmarks break this monotonous landscape, among them the mysterious Rishat structure in Mauritania, a 50-kilometer-wide ring formation so visible it has guided astronauts orbiting Earth. The Sahara also holds deep fossil beds and archaeological treasures, waiting silently beneath layers of sand until modern science calls them into the light. It is a landscape that defies its simple desert label, offering a glimpse of hidden worlds just beneath the surface. Though outwardly static and lifeless, the desert is anything but inactive. Powerful southern winds give birth to massive sandstorms that can rage for days, carrying particles across oceans to places as far as Cape Verde. These harsh winds reshape the terrain continually, perpetuating the desert's expansion southward by up to 10 kilometers each year. This constant change is a reminder that the Sahara is a living, breathing ecosystem, full of secrets still awaiting discovery. One of the Sahara's greatest mysteries is what lies beneath its sands, a question that challenges how we see this vast expanse. The desert's name, derived from Arabic simply meaning desert, masks the surprising reality that beneath millions of tons of sand may lie ancient rivers, lakes, and landscapes teeming with life. This hidden terrain and its story hold the key to understanding not just the Sahara, but much about climate change and human history. It remains a place of paradox, an arid wasteland on the surface, yet a region of astonishing geological and biological diversity below. For centuries, explorers and scientists have tried to penetrate these hidden depths, gradually reshaping our understanding bit by bit. The Sahara's true nature is not merely sand and sun, but a complex mosaic of past and present forces shaping the planet and its inhabitants. As research deepens, the desert's hidden layers continue to beckon, hinting at discoveries that could rewrite what we know about Earth's climatic shifts and the endurance of life in extreme conditions. Beneath the swirling dunes and brittle rock lies a story that is only now starting to be told. Beneath the sands, vast water treasures are quietly sustaining life and human civilization. Ancient water sources and oases. Although the Sahara is known for its scarcity of surface water, beneath the sand lies a remarkable secret: vast underground aquifers holding immense pools of fresh water. These groundwater reserves form the lifeblood of some of the desert's oases, creating green islands in the endless arid expanse. Many oases arise where subterranean rivers defy the parched surface, allowing vegetation and human settlements to flourish against the desert's odds. One of the most ambitious projects harnessing this hidden water is Libya's Great Man-Made River, a massive engineering feat initiated in the 1970s and completed in the 1990s. This vast network of 1,300 wells, each more than 500 meters deep, pumps an astonishing 6.5 million cubic meters of fresh water daily through huge pipes and reservoirs. It supplies drinking water to major cities across the desert nation, transforming inhospitable zones into habitable spaces. The aquifers, which this project has been utilizing, are extremely old, and their water was basically stored thousands of years ago. They are a finite treasure under the earth of the desert. This huge underground reservoir really stretches over the regions of Sudan, Chad, Egypt, and Libya, thus revealing the Sahara's total gratitude in terms of groundwater resources, thus making the reserves even more important for life and agriculture, also meaning not just survival, but the potential for growth in some of the hottest and driest places on Earth. These underground rivers are making the places absolutely fertile, thus supporting the growing of palms, grasses, and the existence of wonderful ecosystems in spite of the very low rainfall of only about 75 millimeters per year. The fertility of the area was so great that it has attracted people and their activities for many thousands of years, allowing even the nomadic tribes and traders to operate on a large scale through the use of ancient caravan routes. These water sources are still present in the landscape, and, in fact, they have probably become the desert's most eloquent testament to how complex and varied the life-giving processes are that lie underneath the surface. Managing and conserving groundwater is a Herculean task. The excessive extraction of water leads to the eventual extinction of the resource, thereby disrupting the ecosystems and the human settlements that are reliant on this groundwater. However, for the countries that border the Sahara, making use of underground water is still a major tactic against both desertification and drought. It also implies that important issues like sustainability and future availability in the context of climate change and increasing population sizes need to be addressed. The presence of groundwater under such a dry area gives a completely different perspective on the desert than what is usually assumed. It shows the Sahara as a living ecosystem with intricate connections to ancient climate cycles and human migrations. The underground rivers and lakes not only speak of the past, but also provide a glimmer of future, making the arid surface landscapes a little less barren by filling up the gaps. Every time a well is drilled and a basin is mapped, scientists are uncovering more of the secrets. They are showing how water has once formed channels and brought along fish and other creatures, and how life has survived through the changing climates. This hidden hydraulic network under the Sahara is old and enduring, thus a lifeline. As the desert's past greens come to light, so too do signs of a once vibrant, lush landscape that challenges what we thought possible in this harsh region. Sahara's lush past revealed. The Sahara we see today is a desert forged by extremes, but just 8,000 years ago, it was almost unrecognizable. Archaeological and geological evidence paints a vivid picture of a green and fertile landscape, rich with forests, meadows, and expansive lakes. Scientists have uncovered traces of clear waters and white grass meadows that flourished where sand now dominates, revealing a climate and ecosystem that supported abundant life. Satellite imagery and fossil records show that the Sahara was once interlaced with river systems like the ancient Taman Rasset, flowing into the Atlantic Ocean. This vast watery network would have sustained large populations of humans and animals. Alongside these watercourses existed lush vegetation, including ferns, acacias, and other plant species that no desert today can support. The evidence confirms that this part of Africa was once a thriving savanna rather than a barren wasteland. Paleo-environmental data, including pollen samples and sediment layers, reinforce the notion that the Sahara's current aridity is a relatively recent phenomenon. Rising and falling water levels in prehistoric lakes, such as the now shrunken Lake Chad, testify to dramatic environmental shifts. These fluctuations were shaped by changes in Earth's orbit and tilt, affecting monsoon patterns and precipitation over millennia. Human artifacts and rock carvings discovered deep in the desert further prove that people lived, farmed, and raised cattle in this transformed landscape. Sites like Napti Playa, often called the Sahara's Stonehenge, feature massive stones arranged in circles dating back over 6,000 years, predating even the original Stonehenge in England. These ancient constructions point to a complex culture adapting to and thriving in a once green Sahara. As the climate shifted toward desertification, grazing pressures and changing vegetation altered the environment, hastening the transition from lush savanna to arid sands. Some theories suggest that human activity, like overgrazing, contributed to the vegetation loss, while others point to natural orbital cycles with a period of about 20,000 years as the driving force behind these changes. The Sahara's rich history is a story of resilience and transformation. Its current desert state conceals layers of a verdant past that challenge assumptions about climate stability and human adaptability. Today's sand dunes overlay ancient riverbeds, fossil remains of giant whales and dinosaurs, and traces of long-lost forests. This hidden history invites us to reconsider the Sahara not as a static wasteland, but as a dynamic environment shaped by deep time and the interplay of natural and human forces. Beneath those dunes lies a testament to life's endurance and the ever-changing face of our planet. Such revelations naturally lead us to uncover the remnants of ancient civilizations and their secrets scattered beneath the ever-shifting sands. Archaeological marvels beneath the sand. Beneath the sweeping sands of the Sahara lies a hidden chapter of human history waiting to be uncovered. Archaeologists have discovered ancient settlements, rock carvings, and monumental structures that speak to civilizations far older than many realize. One of the most remarkable is Napti Playa, often dubbed the Sahara's Stonehenge. This site consists of massive 2 and 3 meter stones weighing several tons, arranged in 5 concentric circles. Dating back over 6,000 years, it predates the famous Stonehenge by more than 4,000 years, marking it as one of the world's oldest prehistoric monuments. These arrangements indicate that early inhabitants of the Sahara had sophisticated cultural practices and a deep connection to their environment. The stone circles and carvings suggest rituals related to astronomy, community gathering, or spiritual beliefs. In the heart of the desert, remnants of rock art portray scenes of daily life, animals, cattle, and humans, all evidence that these lands were once fertile and lived in. Such archaeological treasures reveal that what is now barren earth was once a fertile cradle of human advancement and adaptation. Further exploration has uncovered the Taman Rasset riverbed, an ancient river that once meandered through the Sahara and emptied into the Atlantic Ocean. This discovery, made possible through 3-dimensional satellite imaging, unveils a network of watercourses that supported large populations and rich biodiversity. The river's existence during the Sahara's greener phase underscores the significant geographic and environmental changes that have shaped the region over thousands of years. The archaeological discoveries made have, to no avail, brought up the idea that the Sahara has always faced, and will continue to face, inhospitable desert conditions. On the contrary, the area was once a major route for human migration, agriculture, and trade. The discovery of thousands of rock engravings and settlements indicates that there were flourishing communities living there and growing crops, as well as engaging in livestock keeping, all of which were done with very clever adaptations to the then changing climate conditions. The findings tell a common tale of disappointment through the challenges and soaring with the change. In the past, these areas were covered by enormous caravans of traders, some of them weighing up to 12,000 camels, so the linkage of remote parts through Africa was established. This trade network not only linked the Sahara's early inhabitants with the larger world, but also increased the dissemination of such things as ideas, technology, and culture. The essential role that the desert played in Africa's historical tapestry has always been there, though virtually unnoticed, lying underneath its tough exterior. Present-day protection of these archaeological sites comes with a hard task. The encroaching sands bury them more and more, while the remains, being so fragile, demand nothing but very careful scientific methods. However, the use of remote sensing and satellite technology, which has been increasing, allows us to keep discovering without digging. This combination of modern science and ancient history gives us hope that the Sahara's hidden stories will eventually be told. From ancient human ingenuity to planet-sized geological wonders, the Sahara's secrets extend far beyond its sands. Geological wonders and mysteries. Among the Sahara's most captivating features is the Richat structure, known as the Eye of the Desert, located in Mauritania. This astonishing circular formation spans nearly 50 kilometers in diameter and can be seen clearly from space. For decades, it served as a navigational landmark for astronauts orbiting Earth. Scientists debate its origin, with erosion being the leading theory, yet this unique geological phenomenon stands apart as one of Earth's great natural enigmas. Scattered across the desert are also pieces of translucent, weathered glass, commonly called Libyan desert glass, thought to be formed by intense heat from meteorite impacts millions of years ago. These natural glass shards not only attract scientific curiosity, but have also held cultural significance for millennia. Ancient Egyptians used this rare material in jewelry and ceremonial objects, linking the invisible cosmic forces to human civilization. Delving deeper into the Sahara's geological past reveals fossils from the Mesozoic era, a time when the region was submerged beneath the Tethys Ocean. Here, giant marine creatures lived, whales, turtles, and prehistoric snakes among them. Fossilized remains, including one of the world's largest dinosaurs, have been unearthed in what is now called the Valley of the Whales. These findings provide a breathtaking glimpse into life before the desert existed, emphasizing the vast transformations over millions of years. The shifting North African landscape mirrors the movements of continents and the changing climates that followed. The disappearance of the Tethys Ocean and the rising Sahara Desert are direct results of tectonic activity and global climate cycles. Such geological forces have continuously sculpted the surface of the Earth, transforming what once was ocean floor into the driest desert on the planet. Sandstorms erupt annually from the Sahara, stirring the surface and sending clouds of fine grains across continents and oceans. These powerful winds dramatically reshape landscapes and have far-reaching impacts, from interrupting local life to depositing mineral-rich dust thousands of kilometers away. The desert's influence can be felt far beyond its immediate borders. Beneath the vast, shifting sands lie rich deposits of gas and oil, which have become vital economic resources for several Saharan countries. Their extraction has tied the desert's ancient underground riches to the modern world's energy demands, blending deep history with present-day geopolitics. This juxtaposition of natural resources and human needs adds another layer to the Sahara's complex story. The desert's geological wonders are not just static relics. They actively shape ecosystems, cultures, and economies. Understanding these features connects us to an Earth still in motion, where ancient impacts and planetary processes continue to unfold. Each stone, fossil, and glass fragment tells of a Sahara that is part natural marvel and part living system. These extraordinary natural features set the stage for contemplating the Sahara's future, whether the desert might one day return to its ancient green glory. The Sahara's future. The Sahara Desert's story is far from finished. Recent research suggests its vast barren sands might not be permanent, and within the next decade, parts of the region could see a surprising transformation, a gradual return to greenery. This challenges the idea of the Sahara as a static wasteland and highlights its dynamic nature, shaped by both natural cycles and human influence. Scientists attribute much of the Sahara's changing climate to shifts in the Earth's axial tilt, which alters solar radiation and rainfall over 20,000-year cycles. In wetter periods, the desert once bloomed into a savanna with rivers, lakes, and forests that supported wildlife and early human civilizations. Evidence also shows that grazing animals played a role in either sustaining or hastening desertification. Overgrazing may have reduced vegetation and changed the land's reflectivity, influencing temperature and moisture, while careful grazing could have preserved greenery and soil health for centuries. Human activity has long been intertwined with the Sahara's fate. Today, satellite data and climate models hint at increasing rainfall and growing vegetation in some areas, signaling the start of a natural renewal cycle. This offers opportunities for sustainable land use and ecosystem restoration. However, global climate change poses risks that could disrupt these cycles. Managing water resources, protecting fragile habitats, and balancing development with conservation will be critical. If the Sahara turns green again, it could reshape North Africa's economy, biodiversity, and culture, standing as a testament to Earth's resilience and capacity for regeneration. The Sahara's buried past and unfolding future reveal a desert far more alive and complex than anyone imagined. From ancient rivers and lost civilizations to the potential for a green rebirth, its story is a powerful testament to nature's resilience. If you found this journey fascinating, don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible discoveries and insights. Stay curious. You never know what mysteries lie just beneath the surface.